What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Richard West. Welcome back to week 3 of NFL predictions for the 2025 season. We got some a lot of them feel like no-brainers, but I'm not sure. Now, I may be wrong, but I think last week on my predictions, I was 8-8. So very interesting. We were 10-6 in week 1, 8-8 week 2. Let's go ahead and jump into week 3. First matchup, Thursday night. This is probably going to come out afterwards because I'm recording this like, 5 a.m. on Thursday. So this will be happening later. Dolphins 0-2, Bills 2-0. Bills are first in offensive yards in the entire league, second in offensive points, 8th in defensive yards allowed, and 22nd in defensive points. The only category that they're looking bad in. They are coming off a division win away and going into a division game at home here, whereas the Dolphins are 25th in offensive yards, 25th in offensive points, if I got both those right, 26th in defensive yards allowed, and 31st in defensive points allowed. They're coming off of a division loss at home and going into a division game away here. I think it's very clear which one I'm going with here. Then the first matchup for Sunday, we got Bengals versus Vikings. Joe Burrow, I believe, is out for 3 months, I think is what I heard. 30th in offensive yards. What does that say? 9th in points. Honestly, none of those stats really matter because we're going to have Jake Browning under center, so we got to see what that's going to look like going into this year. This is a backup quarterback that I've been wanting to see get a starter job somewhere for years now, but he's apparently good with being a backup, or, you know, maybe depending on how he does here, maybe he'll get one. Vikings are actually surprisingly 31st in yards offensively, 28th in offensive points, 17th, if I'm remembering correctly here, in defensive yards allowed and points allowed. JJ McCarthy's out for this one. I think he was injured. They came off a loss here. Bengals coming off a huge blow, the morale with their quarterback out yet again for months. Even though they're 2-0, I have no idea how that's going to look. I believe Carson Wentz is in, and like, I don't care. I'm still going with the logic of Kevin O'Connell has worked with so many different types of quarterbacks and looked good. Gonna go with the Vikings here. I like Jake Browning. I've seen him play, but I think the Vikings are going to win this one. Offense has looked a little bit rough as this essentially rookie has been going into his first 2 games, but you know, this is a vet, so it might look a lot different this week. We got Texans Jags, nice division game. Texans are surprisingly 0-2. Who did they lose to? Rams, I think week 1, and then the Bucks, I think. Jags are 1-1, one against Panthers and then one against the Bengals. So honestly, like, this should tell you that the Texans are gonna go get their first win here, and honestly, they might. I don't know about this one. I really don't, because the Texans defense has been so good and it can actually give the Jags a struggle here, but the Jags lost against the Bengals defense and have only won against the Panthers so far. So I really don't know how to take that. I would love to see the Jags step up here, handle a tough defense in the Texans, and you know, really earn it here. You know, like, even if the Texans offense is slower, I would love to see the Jags handle the defense and have bragging rights for that. Texans offense just cannot get enough points on the board to win, it looks like. So this is risky. I kind of want to go with Texans. My gut is saying Texans, but I'm gonna say Jags. Jags might surprise people, and I would love to see them start winning. Then we got Colts Titans. I'm still pissed off seeing that game from last week. I'm just gonna go with Colts. Like, are we serious? A lot of people use this logic when they shouldn't, but I think it works here. If the Broncos can beat the Titans but can't beat the Colts, the Titans are not beating the Colts, especially if the Dolphins can't beat the Colts and we can't beat the Colts. Like, those are 2 drastically different teams. We had a bad defensive showing last week in Denver, but like, come on, Titans are not showing us up, so I'm gonna go with Colts. Then we got Raiders versus the Redskins. Jaden Daniels is out. I'm pretty sure. What, isn't Austin Eckler out, or am I lying there? Don't they have significant players out besides Jaden Daniels? Either way, their offense already hasn't looked good this year. What even is their record? They're 1-1, right? Raiders are coming off a loss to a tough Chargers team. I think they're going into this game, I believe, away. With Jaden Daniels out, I think they're going to dominate 100%. I actually placed a bet on that game for the Raiders to win, so we'll see. I'm not really a betting guy, but we're going to go with it. I know a lot of people are kind of hyping it up that Mariota is going to possibly take over this and, you know, really change what the offense looks like, but I don't have that much confidence. So we got Rams Eagles, finally a tough matchup that I'm actually really excited about. Rams have looked a lot slower on offense. Their defense has looked great. Eagles, like, people keep saying, I think Ninja just had a clip go viral where he said the Eagles offense is boring. I personally disagree. I like seeing Jalen run around. Like, I don't need to see an explosive offense to me is not like a quarterback throwing to wide receiver 1, throwing it deep and getting touchdowns. To me, an explosive offense is one that's like diverse and has variety and can excel in a variety of ways. People keep making more of an issue out of the tush push than it needs to be. Like, why do you guys not have this same problem with quarterback sneak? Like, it's just stupid to me. Like, the tush push has been stopped when a rushing defense is good enough. It's been stopped plenty of times. And if it was a cheat play, then every team would do it. Like, literally nobody can argue with that logic ever. Like, and people like me who like seeing it and like seeing the Eagles do it well, we always say that, and there's no counter because there's no reason to have a problem with it. So yeah, on short yardage plays, they're gonna call that. Other than that, we got Saquon, we got Jalen rushing. We're still seeing great plays. We're seeing a smart offense, and they're still winning games. Like, I like to see that. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles here over the Rams. Rams got a tough defense, but I just love what the Eagles have going for them right now. I would love to see this turn into like a dynasty or something like that. Like, that'd be awesome. Let's be honest, people conflate the Eagles fan base with the Eagles team, and they're mad to see them be so continuously successful. People were going into the 2024 season after their playoff loss in the wild card in 2023. People thought that they were going to be a terrible like garbage fest, like that they were going to unravel, and then they just got better. And now people are mad that like they keep succeeding. So they're blaming it all on one play that any team is allowed to do. It's stupid. I like the Eagles. I want to see them win. I like watching them win. I think they're going to win. Then we got Falcons, Panthers. Again, I just cannot sit here and act like I'm entertained by anything involving the Panthers. Falcons are coming off a win against the Vikings in a very tough defensive game. I'm not going to sit here and entertain or talk about like there's any question Falcons are going to win this. Then we got Steelers, Patriots. Steelers are actually coming off a surprising loss to the Seahawks, and the Patriots, who did they go up against? I can't remember. So far, New England as a team is not looking how I hoped they would look, even at the start of the season. I know there's still a lot of, the year left, but like, damn, it's actually pretty disappointing. Even though the Steelers gave up like a lot of points last time, there's still some things like just a couple fine-tuning elements that need to happen here. Their offense is still going well. Their run game is about as well as it could be with that running back room. They need to stop using Caleb Johnson to return. I know a lot of people are talking about like the defense is underwhelming for how much money went into it and how many skilled players they have. Sure, but again, this is something that can get cleaned up. Overall, I like the Steelers. I'm gonna go with them. I just don't see enough from the Patriots, even with a possibly weak Pittsburgh defense. I don't see enough from New England to kind of overpower them. So we got Packers, Browns. I mean, dude, the Packers defense is so surprising. I guess I should have checked the injury report. If I'm remembering correctly, they got people out. I don't fully remember. It's the Browns. I mean, who are they this season? Like, I don't know what they're doing over there. And there's no question the Packers are going to get this one. Like, a lot of these matchups this week are just no-brainers, dude. We got Jets, Bucks. Justin Fields is out. I have no confidence. I don't know. Everyone's talking about Tyrod Taylor. I don't want to see it if it's not Justin Fields. Like, he's injured. I know they can't help that, but like, the Bucks are killing it. They've been killing it on offense. Baker just has so many options that I can't like sit there and entertain. Like, I mean, maybe the Jets defense could do something. Maybe they could surprise everybody, but I'm just gonna go with the Bucks. Bet on Baker. Like, so many of these just come down to like so many quarterbacks injured, so many players out, to where I'm like, just boringly go with the other team, and it sucks, but like, literally that's the logic I'm gonna follow. Then we got Broncos, Chargers. I'm gonna be a homer and just say Broncos, even though I'm like, so like, what are we doing on offense and defense? Now, the offense actually looked pretty good last week. They actually looked consistent through the whole game. Loss last week was such a ref thing. Like, that literally came down to refs. Like, going into this game, it's got to be pass heavy and run heavy. There's got to be a balance, and we have to have faith in the run game and the passing game, because it honestly looked good last week. It was the defense, surprisingly, that was the problem. So I can anticipate that being an issue, like failing to get a stop on the Chargers passing game. Their run game does not look good. Omarion Hampton is basically their only rusher. Najee Harris has looked disappointingly like non-existent. He's basically a receiving back and nothing more. If you check his stats from like the weeks prior, he cannot do anything. Like, I don't know if it's still his eye or whatever, or if it's their O-line, but basically their running back room consists of 3 players. Omarion took the running back 1 spot from Najee after I think week 1, and Najee's just a receiving back. So it's 1 running back, 1 receiving back, and then RB3, who I don't really even know. So our defense should not have a problem with the run game. The passing game, however, is what we're really going to need to focus on. Dude, Justin Herbert to like all of these receivers this season so far. I'm hoping, I have no hope, but I am hoping that we can shut them down and we can make them lose a little bit of morale. It would be so nice to win against the Chargers in the Bo Nix era. We're still 0-2. Sean Payton, I think, has a record of losing to Jim Harbaugh in the NFL, which is, I want to change that so bad. I don't want to go 0-3 against the Chargers, but I feel like we might literally, if there's any like attention paid in stopping the passing game and looking at the route concepts that they're doing and just trying to shut them down, and also QB spying Justin Herbert, because he is absolutely a dual threat this season. If they just focus on a good prevent defense, good 3-4, like if you have corners pressed up against all of their receivers, have a linebacker spying at all times against Herbert, literally just like shut down the passing game and keep eyes on Herbert, and you can do this. Like, literally, that's what it comes down to in all of these games so far. We can stop the run game and we can do our job jobs on offense. That's been shown so far. The play calling is improving. Keep improving. Watch how they're converting on must-have third downs against other teams, and you'll be fine. Hoping our staff is smart enough to do that, going with the Broncos. And we got Saints Seahawks. I have absolutely no optimism for New Orleans at this point. I don't know what they're doing. They're losing every game that they should be winning, and it's so disappointing. I had more hope from Kellen Moore, but at this rate, I mean, these are easy games early in the season. Like, these are must-win games. It only gets harder for them from here. And you got this week against the Seahawks, who I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think they're Super Bowl contenders. They're about to go 0-3. I think Kellen Moore in his first year, it could be like first year with Dan Campbell, the Lions. It could be like the Saints pre-Sean Payton. Like, this is not looking good. Again, I gotta say what everyone else is thinking, and everyone else is pretty loudly saying. Why did they draft Tyler Show? I'm not saying Shuck. It's spelled Show. Why did they draft him? Why did they draft him second round? What the hell were they thinking? Literally, what the, like, can you imagine what kind of weapon they could have gotten instead? Like, that could be helping them right now to like win these. It's just I don't know what they're doing. The Seahawks have not only been playing great football, but I think they're gonna shut this, unfortunately, super disappointing team down. Then we got the Bears, Cowboys. This is actually kind of an interesting one because the Cowboys defense has been noticeably god-awful. They're coming off a great overtime win against the Giants that I'm surprised it came down to, and honestly, the way it was going, I'm surprised they won. The Bears have had a tough go of it. Very disappointing start for the they're coming off a huge loss. So they lose to the Vikings, and then they lose big to the Lions. These are division teams that they're going up against. Division games they're losing. It's not looking good. I think Caleb Williams and them could get it going against this passing defense. I don't know though. Like, in terms of talent, yeah, the Bears have it, but they can't put it together. I don't know why. They can get points. They can get stops on defense. They can't win. Like, it's the most Bears thing ever. I don't understand it. I have it written down here that I'm going to predict the Bears to win, but I'm going to go with Cowboys. Last minute, I'm changing it here. This is terrible. Cardinals, 49ers. I mean, I'm going off of last year. Cardinals are surprisingly 2-0, but they're in for a rude awakening because of their matchups so far and how not difficult they've been. This is like, I'm still hung up on it from last year. They can't win their division games. They can't win the division, even when it's right there for the taking. And it's been frustrating me. And I've gone into this year still pissed off about that because they had so many chances last year. So I don't care if they're using Marvin Harrison Jr. more intelligently this season. I just can't, you know, literally, even with an injured 49ers, like so many of their players injured, I'm giving it to them because we had the exact same situation last year and the Cardinals could not win against the Seahawks, couldn't win against the 49ers. It was ridiculous. And then we got Chiefs versus Giants. I keep seeing that clip of the dude who's like, he was like going crazy over like the NFL is not going to let the Chiefs go 0-3, but it's like that's like as if the Giants even have a chance. I don't care how much worse the Chiefs have been this year. Like, they're not losing to these Giants, especially not with Russell Wilson under center. It's just like, what the hell are you talking about? The Chiefs defense and offense have both been noticeably terrible, and they're going into like this year they look like what they looked like last year without the reffing advantage. I don't know why he thinks they're going to go back to that. If they were going to, they would have had it against the Eagles in the week 1 game. Like, that would have already happened. I don't know, maybe there's a chance we go back to that this year, but they're not going to need that for this game. The Giants are terrible. Chiefs it is. And then we got a big matchup with Lions Ravens. Now, Lions are such a big question mark because, like, what the hell did they just do to the Bears? That being said, I'm going to go with the Ravens just because, like, they lost and stupid play calling made them lose against the Bills, but that was like at the very end of the game before those stupid like coaching decisions and coaching mistakes that literally gave up a massive lead. They were still like hugely in the lead against a very competitive Bills team. Defense was like looking terrible in that fourth quarter, and I think people are a little bit confused in terms of like how dominant that win was from the Lions. I mean, dude, the Bears gave up such a big lead against the Vikings. You know what I mean? So I have no idea. I think the Lions are probably going to be like maybe score 30 in this game, whereas the Ravens score like 38, 36. I don't know. It's definitely going to be a tough matchup, going to be close. It's going to come down to that fourth quarter for sure. I really don't know what to expect from the Lions going into this for like a way more competent defense, even though it is faulty. But yeah, that Ravens offense still looks just as good as it has for years. They still look scary. They just gave up a stupid lead against the Bills, and I think people are doubting them a little bit more than they probably should be. I got the Ravens for this one. But yeah, those are just my picks. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already. That is the video. Thank you for watching.